All right, here we go. Another Finer Demos Club session here. So we're going to give it a little bit of time. I know Ranga was right on time with getting it started at 8 a.m., but as people start to come in, feel free to let us know where you are viewing from, where you're calling in from. I see Mark. Mark, you're eager for this one, and I'm glad because this might be one of the best ones here. But yeah, we saw you early in the chat. That was awesome here. Awesome here and see Kansas City. Okay. And Bill, I don't know if you wanted to share with them where you're calling in from.
Sure. I'm actually calling from Malaysia, which is in the Southeast Asia part of the world. Where are
Yeah.
you about, actually, Arthur?
Oh, I never told you this. Right now, I'm actually
Yeah.
in Phoenix. I was in Las Vegas yesterday for the Dolby Summit. Yeah, and here for about a week because Forrester Summit is next week, Sunday to Wednesday. Okay, shout out to UK, Belfast, UK, Ireland. Love to see it. We got quite an international crew here today. Um, Amazing. So, yeah, looks like okay, Atlanta. We always got to represent. Um, so this one I'm like super excited about because as we were chatting through, Nabil and her team had such a interesting way of how they're kind of coming about iterating it. Now we wanted to test out something new for this format specifically. So at the end, I'm sure Nabil and her team are probably gonna hate that we have this feature now because you'll see how much iterations they went through. But we will be doing a quick little workshop on the A/B testing feature. So you can learn from Nabil and her team everything that they've done, and then see how we try to make it a lot easier for you, so you don't have to go through as many iterations. No way, Doug Fisher, that's amazing. Yeah, that's all right. Fun fact. Fun fact. My first tech job ever, Doug Fisher hired me from Lone Wolf. So that's amazing to see. I'm guessing you're a customer now. We have to catch up after this, Doug. Um, so Derek, we will. Here's what we always say: we are recording it, but we don't make it publicly available. But if you have to drop off at some point, the fact that you guys all registered, you will get a private link to see the recording there. Okay, I got some people from Vancouver. Love that. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we'll send it to you after then, Derek. Yeah, I know this was a little bit of a different time zone because we have Nabila from Malaysia. I know it's very late for her, but cool. So let me start sharing my screen. But as we're doing that, I guess before we get into the good stuff, Nabila, if you could kind of introduce yourself, let us know what you do over there at Respond.io, what Respond does, and talk a little bit, maybe tease us about what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Arthur. Hi, everyone. So lovely to meet everyone. And thank you so much for take some time off to hearing me share my experience with Storylane. So, hi, everyone. My name is Nabila, and I am part of the product team at Respond.io. So, essentially, Respond.io is a platform that is AI powered, which is a customer conversation platform. So, we help businesses around the world manage all their customer messages, be it from WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or website chat, or email. So all in one place. And currently, we have an AI agents that handle conversations automatically. So your human team only steps in when it really matters. So today, I'm just going to walk you through how we went from a demo with Storylane that most people didn't finish to one where our trial clicks went up 162%. So I'll definitely share my tricks, the stuff that we did, so you guys don't have to repeat the same mistakes, and what didn't work, what worked, and honestly, what also surprised us the most. So yeah, I hope that teased you guys a little bit. So Derek, I hope you try to stay as long as you can.
Amazing. Okay, let me get started here. All right. So I know our audience is going to be looking at the slide, nodding their head a lot. This is the classic product demo dilemma, right? so much to show. Yeah, walk us through what you were kind of up against when you first started with Storyline.
Yeah, so I think we serve a wide range of industries. E-commerce, we have healthcare, travel, you name it. And so every visitor that comes to our website or our homepage is there for a slightly different reason. And before we even had an interactive demo, there was really no way for anyone to actually see or experience the product before signing up for a free trial. And even if they did sign up for a free trial, they had only 7 days. So that window is relatively short for them to really get to the aha moment. So the risk that we had when we were trying to figure out to build this demo was actually trying to find that balance, sharing everything to show how amazing we are, but then we end up might not communicating anything. So that's exactly why we started to dabble in this whole demo, interactive demo with Storylane.
Yeah. And I know we're going to go through all of these stages in depth, so don't worry, we'll come back to this slide and the bill will go deeper into this, but this will give you kind of an idea of how much thought went into all of their iterations and the breakthroughs that they had at each stage, and what changed along the way. So let's jump into V1 here. Yeah, kick us off with what the first version started to look like.
Yeah, oh my God, V1, I'm seeing the GIF now and it feels like a while ago, but yeah, it's only been like almost just a year plus. But yeah, our version one took about a month from blank canvas to going live. And even just getting that first version out wasn't a one person job. So we had at least four teams. So we had the product team that kind of really defined on what our product USPs were, and then the marketing kind of really looked into the copies and looking into how what sort of languaging works well for the homepage. And then we have the sales team who kind of look into verifying the language also in terms of whether it matches what they actually hear from sales calls, which were very, very super valuable in this case. And last but not least, we also had the management that kind of also were part of the review because they also speak to a lot of people. They have a lot of insights that we didn't have context over as well. And last but not least, actually, was the Storylane CSM that we had. Oh my goodness, he was incredibly patient with us. I was very annoying when I first started out because I was so impatient. So yeah, we had so many questions, and it was so nice of him to kind of attend to us. But yeah, I think the format we went with Watch version one was really the biggest decision we had to do the first call because we were like, should we go short and one chapter, or we go long with three because we were nailing to three core USPs at that point. So yeah, long story short, we went with three because we were like, oh, it felt really thorough, it felt very comprehensive. So let's just show three chapters with our main core modules and see how that goes. So yeah, that's our first ever version.
Yeah, no, and it's definitely like the most paralysis by analysis, right? Like, what do we show? All of these
Yes.
questions, but I know you all have come down to this incredible iteration engine. And I love the slide. It's going to sound intense, but even as we were talking, you're like, no, it was actually pretty scrappy. That's how we put this
Yeah.
all together. So yeah, walk us through how this actually worked in practice. What did reviewing the numbers every 2 weeks really look like in the day to day?
Yeah, I know that sounds like, oh my God, 2 weeks every day reviewing numbers. And yeah, iteration engine here does sound a bit formal and serious. But yeah, honestly, it was mostly about accountability because every one of us knew that this demo was setting on our homepage and everyone was watching, and we were all very accountable for it. So what we did was there were three things. The first one over here is that we really looked into the numbers in terms of what we track, right? So we really nailed down what metrics are we actually like really looking and seeing the progress of. So we have engagement rates, we have demo completion rates, we have the average timestamp. We look into drop off points, and also look into our CTAs click rates. So we had demo and also free trial clicks. So we actually monitor them every 2 weeks. So why 2 weeks? You might be thinking, oh, because we thought that 1 week was too short, and we thought 3 weeks was too long. So we were like, oh, 2 weeks. So yeah, pretty scrappy, but seemed to have worked for us in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once we kind of knew what to track, we then start to ask ourselves really like where exactly are people leaving, and what would that drop off be, why are we losing them, and is it the content, is it the format, is it the right people clicking the right CTAs, is this the current version actually reflect the current most important value in our product. So we were constantly questioning and really like evaluating that specific version of the demo, and kind of really like mapping out whether that actually suits our business goals and our customer product market fit kind of sort of thing. So yeah, so once we know what we track and what we ask ourselves, we then look into recommendations. So what do we do after? So we cut pages, where are repetitive, or people actually drop off, or maybe it's too process heavy, or stuff about structuring the chapters. Maybe people are dropping off before the main highlights. So how do we change the storyline? And then looking into running A/B tests, because we were, again, like I say, it took a village for us to get through the version. So there were a lot of opinions. There were a lot of people saying that this doesn't make sense. I don't like this. I like that. So I think A/B test is the way to go, right? Experiment what works, what doesn't work, because we're all doing this for the first time. So I think that kind of mindset also plays a role. And yeah, we play a lot with design, we play a lot of localization, and yeah, so it was a lot of trial and error. And we did this every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. No, sounds like a lot, but yeah, you guys have broken it down. I think one of the cool things that came about, and this almost came up by accident while we were chatting, right? Where you said with your specific use case, this was kind of a unique
Yeah.
bonus because in terms of working cross functionally, I guess you guys didn't necessarily have like a project like this. So yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah, honestly, it was a no formal project. I remember the day that I got assigned to this. They were like, "Oh, we should do an interactive demo." Oh, you know what? Nabila should do it. And I was like, "Wait, why? Why is this going on?" And yeah, so there was no formal project. There was no big recurring meetings. I just kind of pulled in whoever I thought that I needed to involve. And I think what made it work personally for us was definitely the reporting and the visibility, because every 2 weeks, everyone just got the same report, same data, same context, same recommendations, and we align on all the whole metrics and so on. And I think every time we actually put in these reports, we really like include a deadline. So people felt informed, not forced, not surprised. So that kind of built trust across all across teams. And I think over time, our stakeholders became more comfortable with the "we don't know yet, let's try,"
Yeah.
because that visibility gave a bit of certainty that our team knew what we were doing, and we were trying our best to always improve our demo as much as possible. And all of them are data driven, in that sense. So yeah, and definitely something cool really kind of happened. The demo became like a shared project that really brought all our teams together, because it was unexpected side effect of this, but very gladly, it was a very positive thing that we observed with the culture of trial and error as well. Because we never know, we never try. So yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from the best Pixar movie ever, Inside Out. They say
Oh yeah.
they kind of comment like, "Oh, people always get opinions and facts confused," right? So I love the fact that people had a lot of opinions, but as you kind of went throughout, it's like, hey, if we have an opinion, let's test out the data. Um, I know we are going to have a portion of Q and A at the end with the workshop, but I thought Alex's question here was pretty on par with what you just went through. He kind of asked, "What volume of demos do you need to reach statistical significance?" Was it more about like the 2 week timeline, and you didn't necessarily need to hit that, or were you kind of looking for a number of statistical significance?
Yeah, we did look for statistical significance. For us, specifically the phase of the A/B test, it wasn't a 2 week monitoring process. We did monitor 2 weeks, but we didn't report the progress of it, because I think with the statistical part where you have to get enough sample and so on. So we kind of let the experiment went on about 1.5 months. And I think we did get about, at least, if I'm not mistaken, it was about at least about 2,000 per demo. And
Hmm.
we had like 3 demos that were A/B testing. So yeah.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, great question, Alex. And I'm sure you have some follow up questions there that maybe we can answer at the
Yeah,
end.
sure.
Cool. So now I know we're going to go into depth of all these different versions. what they look like, what you learned. So yeah, let's get into it.
Nice. Okay, so I know this is like a really like a small little recap of everything that's happened. But I won't go into much detail. I'll just cover the main highlights. But generally, every version we have different types of changes that we did. We did like small stuff like copy changes, page changes, content changes, design changes, but they were also very some that were very big or major changes that we did. So I'll just walk you guys through the more relevant ones. I think that the most big changes that we kind of made our decision on. So yeah, I think we can skip to version one. So version one, although it was something truly an experiment as its whole because we didn't know what to expect. We were seeing numbers we never knew, we never saw before. So we're truly excited when we launched this. We're like, wow, people are engaging. But when we look back, we were like, oh wow, like it's 30% completion, but 70% were actually dropping off before they get to the good stuff. And we were seeing like the chapters where we were like, oh, people would actually go and click through the chapters because everything is so clean, structured, and people maybe want to come back and learn about it. But we were quite wrong. A lot of people actually just engage in the first chapter. So we were like, okay, is it the duration? Is it the chapters don't appear? So Storylane did have a lot of these features that we can customize. So we did play around with those things in our mini iterations. But yeah, so this was a good start, and we use this as our baseline for our numbers. So then we iterate for the next versions after. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and Doug, I think Nabila might get into your point here, but yeah, I know this was a big unlock for you, so going from V1 to kind of jump into V3. Talk us through some of the changes that you made here.
Yeah, so for V3 it was a big jump because actually it was a feature that I was playing around in Storylane because every 2 weeks you're in the platform, you're trying out, you're looking at the metrics, and I saw the new release that they did was that they did the video walkthroughs and also the voiceover feature. So I was like, ooh, this would be interesting. Maybe we can try this out, and we kind of just thought this idea with our management. We were like, oh, maybe we should humanize it a bit. Maybe that could actually help with the completion because we don't know what we don't know. And they were like, let's go, and that's what we did. We had our lovely head of sales walking us through. She's so funny. So I really like how the way she talks. So I was like, okay, you're doing the voiceover. And so what we did for this version was a bit more planny, I would say. The guides, the text itself was more action oriented, and Jess, which is our head of sales, the video was talking more on the outcome and the value and the benefit of that specific action. So we were like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, the user gets the full experience. So we were thinking that this is amazing, and we thought that like, oh, the engagement rose up to 61%, 6.1%. CTA also went up 20%. But then obviously it introduced a whole new scaling problem because Jess was only speaking in English. And we were like, how do we then convert Jess speaking into all our other languages that we support? Like, we have a lot of customers from Spain, from Latam, from EMEA, from so on. So we were like, how do we localize that? So that kind of brought this whole conversation of a problem that we observed. Yeah.
So okay, so that's yeah, we're at V3, and now I know we're kind of jumping to some of the final versions here, but now I know you're live across multiple channels. Yeah, talk us through kind of what happened across the
Yeah.
latest.
Yeah, so I think the problem of the localization aspect kind of started to make us really question ourselves. Were we really making the right assumption? With the scaling problem, is the format right? So we did an A/B test. So if we just before V6 happened, we did an A/B test. So we did version A, which is just speaking and also voice, video, and text, and then version B was just voice, and then version C was just text. And because there were so many opinions against it, I was trying to figure a way to get people to be more conscious of our decisions based on data.
Mhm.
So we realized that we were completely wrong because what our audience wanted was actually text. So text won, everyone. I know, right? You would think video have won, but for our audience, they actually prefer text. And I think we realized that a lot of them actually like that self-paced demo. And so they were able to, scroll the demo, they were able to click here and there. So I think that resonated most with our audience. So we realized, wow, we were totally different from what we thought of what our customers wanted. So A/B test, guys. So yeah, so we totally scraped the three chapter structure entirely. So this was our first time when we did the big jump to our latest version. We only have one chapter, one focus story around our core value proposition, which is the omni-channel inbox. And we had AI agents at that point, so we just launched it. So we made that to be our main feature. And then completion rate just shot up from 42% to 64%. And yeah, then with that, trial clicks went up 162% because people were able to complete the version, the demo a lot faster and a lot more. And they were able to see the aha moment a lot faster. We were able to communicate the value of the product a lot faster. So yeah, thanks, Arthur. Sorry, I jumped the gun here. But yeah, our
Oh, no,
completion jumped. And yeah, our trial clicks so went up. Yeah.
no, this was fantastic. I mean, it was such a cool way to see how much you iterated, how much you guys tested, A/B tested. Yeah, came into new problems like localization, especially being a company that sells so much globally. Um, walk us through maybe some of your biggest takeaways as you were getting this up and running, iterating through all of those versions there.
Yeah, there were a lot of takeaways. Personally, I feel, but I think the biggest one is definitely starting with the story and not the features. Because I think as a product person myself, we get very like fixated. Oh, this product, this feature is so cool. We should feature this. But actually, nobody wants a product tour. They want to see how their problem gets solved. And the product, the feature is just more of the how. They want to know the why, right? So before you jump into creating a demo, a product tour, focus on the story that you're trying to convince your audience. So that's the number one. We did spend a lot of time in the storyboard, and yeah, so I think that's number one. Number two is definitely in terms of metrics, which is completion rate is your most honest metric for me, and trial starts. Because impressions lie, engagements can be accidental, can be like traffic driven, but completion tells you, and also the trial clicks tells you if your story has held, and if they actually potentially might convert to your customers. So choose your metrics wisely. But of course, it depends on the purpose of your demo. But for our case, definitely completion and trial starts were our primary metrics that we were definitely most focused on. Yeah. And then third would definitely be the formatting. So yeah, never assume a format. I thought, Jazz speaking, I loved her speaking. I loved her way she presented. I was like, this is why our completion rates went up. But actually, we thought we were convinced, but we were wrong. And so don't assume it. Just test it. Do let your audience tell you because every business, every industry is different. So always test it as much as you can. And last but not least, it's actually what we realized was that yeah, it was built for iteration, not perfection. So I think the perspective we've had when we first started out, we knew that version one was never going to be the best version. I think internally all of us said that, although they never said it to my face. But I know everyone was like, "I'm like, this is you need to improve this." But I think I am more proud of the fact that we have a system to review, analyze, and improve as we go. And I think that is the main highlight that you always have to kind of have that perspective to always improve as the product grows, as your audience changes, and so on. So yeah, I think these are the four key takeaways actually for us.
That's fantastic, Navilla. I know, yeah, as we drum up some questions here, let's get to the one with Doug because I know he's been patiently waiting because I know you mentioned maybe even the CTA specifically. You said
Mm.
book a demo versus free trial. So what did he say? Does this demo have a CTA to allow users to self-serve the trial, or is it talk to sales? I guess he just wanted to know your CTA.
Yes, we have two CTAs. We have, yes, one is book a demo, which leads to talk to a sales team. But the start a free trial one, it directs them straight to being able to self serve and create an account, do their trial, and so on. Yeah.
And is that the main one you focused on within Storylane, or did you actually test both?
We tested both, but we eventually shifted to focus more on the self-serve, so the start a free trial one.
Amazing.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, no, guys, Nabila, as you can see, like so many iterations, it's like fresh in her mind as she's gone through this. So think about some questions here. But as you're thinking about the questions, we actually wanted to bring up Renee, who's going to come on quickly and show us how to use the A/B testing feature. Now, as you're like going through this, I want you to start maybe taking Nabila and her team's frame of mind, right, and start thinking about your own demo. Think of it in this framework of like, I think changing X will improve this metric because of this reason. So some we've maybe just to get you thinking, I think adding a CTA earlier will increase trial clicks, right? Or I think a shorter demo will improve the completion rate. Or maybe I think removing chapters or chapter 2 will actually reduce the drop off. So yeah, just start thinking a little bit more of that. So Renee, would love for you to maybe take the reins here.
Yeah. Cool. Hey guys, hope everyone is doing great today. Excited to have everyone on, and such an awesome use case. And the A/B testing and platform was definitely something that we had a lot of requests for. So I'm going to walk you guys through where to find it, how to set it up, and then we're going to check out a completed test from actually our own homepage, so you guys can see the A to Z of how it works. So go ahead and share here, share my whole view. But what you're going to do is pop into your Storylane dashboard, of course, and then under analytics, you're going to find the demo that you want to utilize for the A/B test. So let's assume it's already up and running here. So when you click in, before was just like the aggregate view of the analytics, and then you're going to see some tabs up top here for the A/B test. So once you pop in and then you hit create the A/B test, this is going to be a gated versus an ungated demo. So you can kind of imagine what metrics we're going to see here. But you just fill this out and then you'd have variant. So this is A, which is the one that we are going to duplicate and slightly change. In this use case, it is the gated versus the ungated. And we recommend having like the naming convention to be obviously like the overview, but then just having something in it that's variant B or version B. So you just pick the demo there and you can put the traffic split. So 50-50 is what we went for here. But once you click create test, we're gonna pretend it was on for a bit. This is what you'll see. So you can see how long it's running for, which one actually won, and then we show you the comparison down here for CTA clicks, completion, leads, intent, time spent, and the status. So B was the winner here, which you can see, and below on the graph gives you a day by day of how each demo was performing. And yeah, it makes it really easy to do this all within that platform. So if you guys have any questions about this, or please reach out to your CSM or us in the chat bot down here, and we can help you run through this.
Yeah, I know Rachel had a question. She's seeing it, but she's saying, yeah, is it available in the starter plan, the A/B testing feature or not?
I believe it is. I can definitely double check. I'm more than happy to trial it though for you. If you'd like, I'll get your email and follow up with you. If it's not, I'm more than happy to give you a quick trial of it.
Amazing. Okay, Doug, I'm loving the questions. Man, we definitely have to catch up after this. Okay, so other than the demo on the website, what other channels do you distribute the demo? LinkedIn, Google Ads, other? What is the most successful? So this one's for you, Nabila. Yeah, talk us through some of the channels that you have distributed your Storylane demos.
Yeah, so our current demo that we're using is primarily for sales and kind of like more of the top/mid of the funnel. And we actually focus more on the homepage. We have it for our G2 kind of like review sites. We have it for referrals, and also in conversations when salespeople are actually speaking to their customers or their leads. Yeah. And
Very
which one has been the most successful is definitely the homepage. Why I say that is because right now we have a huge surge of self-served customers, And the homepage demo actually is the one that's driving them mostly, without external kind of reviews or referrals or sales assisted. So yeah,
Nice. You
thanks.
just got to answer my follow-up question. Like, so there's a sales assisted motion. You're kind of looking at free trials, how they're getting through, and then somebody would reach out to kind of book a demo or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. No, that's great. I love that. One thing you actually did say when you said referrals, I'm curious about how you guys actually use it for referrals.
Oh, so we have a referral program. So basically, any of our customers who are one of our loyal ones, they can actually refer, and if they have a friend or a colleague who actually then subscribes to Respond.io, they can actually get like some form of rewards. So they can use our Storylane demo as a resource for them to kind of like pitch, to be like, oh, this is just how the platform looks like, and this is what you can do. So assisting that referral process for our customers to get that reward.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. I've never heard of that. So I'm glad I asked. And great question, Doug. Edgar, good to see you again. I know, I believe you're quite active at the last Finer Demos Club session. So maybe this is a question for Renee here. Is there any development in A/B test hubs and to export A/B test data?
Hey, yeah, Edgar, I was just typing back out to you. So not at this time, but would love to for both of the questions, but we can definitely add it to the roadmap, but would love to maybe hear in the chat, or we can follow up a little bit more on how you'd want to use the hubs in the test. Is it for like sales outreach, or is it something that lives on the site? But any additional information would be great for our team to have, but I will add those on the roadmap as well, or ask the product team.
Yeah, Edgar, keep them coming, because this is one of my favorite things in the CS channel when they share is like customers will ask for features and they'll say, hey, we don't have that yet. And then sometimes even later that day, they're like, actually, looks like we just released it. So yeah, keep them coming, because our team is always trying to get feedback from our customers and where we can iterate the product. Okay, we got Travers. Hopefully I'm saying that right. At a high level, what is A/B testing? Is it one link, but users will be randomly directed to one or the other? Renee, yeah, if you want to kind of take a stab at that one.
Yeah, for sure. So with the A/B testing, so essentially it's going to be a version of a demo that you're wanting to make minor tweaks to see which has the best, engagement, best leads. For the example that I was showing was gating versus ungating, which is a really great use case there. And then you do have the ability to like put the percentages in. So you can do 50-50, 80-20. We'd probably recommend more of a 50-50, but that is where they'd be sent to. So 50% of the users would be sent there to the one demo, and then 50% would be sent to the other one.
That's awesome. And Nabila, from your perspective, I don't know if you maybe got a chance to use the A/B testing feature later on once it was developed, but maybe just to speak through like how you guys were thinking about A/B testing, or if you were sending kind of 50 to 50% traffic to each iterations.
So ours was 3 versions. So it's like A, B, C testing. And technically it were like 30, 30, 30. And I think maybe one was 40. Sorry, I think the baseline, which was the version that we already had, was the 40. And then the versions that we haven't tested was the 30 and 30. But yeah.
No, it's great.
Ideally, 50-50 is possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, I think we're on the same wavelength here too. So she wanted to hear, do you have like a separate demo you created for referrals to use specifically? And how does that maybe differ from some of those demos that you had?
Yes, we do actually. So I think for our homepage demo, especially the first step, has a slightly different intro. And I think the referrals one has a different intro. Because just more like trying to speak to the right person. But in terms of the actual steps and the formats, they are exactly the same. But obviously there are different versions, meaning like the link that we put and embed in the homepage versus the link that we actually embed in our referrals kind of materials are different, because we want to track the performance of the referrals, and also we want to separate that from the homepage as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like Sandra has a little bit of a feature shout out here. So a feature I'd love to see is the ability to quiz people on how to use our product by making the hotspots invisible. So you'll say, start by clicking on the play button, and you'll see the platform and have to find and click on the play button yourself without hotspots showing where it is. Yeah. No, love it. Yeah, keep them coming, Sandra. This is great.
Wow.
Okay.
I think that'd be quite cool. I'll try that.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. So we got one from Rebecca B here. So have you used the AI demo creation when creating demos in Storyline?
The AI demo creations is the video avatars and the voiceovers, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Or is there other features?
I mean, feel free to speak to that. And Rebecca, as you're maybe, give us a little bit more about what you specifically meant on the AI demo creation feature. But yeah, if you want to talk us through those.
Yeah, I think generally on Storylane per se, we did dabble in the AI video avatars, the voiceovers, and also the translations bit. And because I think the translations primarily is because of this, localization that we want to address, and also voiceovers. And I think the video avatar we kind of played around because, like I said, with the videos of our head of sales, it was not sustainable and not scalable in terms of actually getting her to speak in all the different languages that were available. We did, but the thing is, I think at that point, we all loved Jess so much. Like everyone was like, no, like I think my CEO kind of vetoed it. He was like, I don't want anyone but Jess, and we were like, okay, we'll figure out something else. So yeah, so we did dabble it. I actually really enjoyed working with it. I felt like it really sounded exactly like what we wanted it to sound like. But yeah, it was just a internal decision that was made.
Yeah. Renee, anything to add there? I don't know if the AI demo creation.
Yeah, I think two parts. For Sandra, your kind of feature request, you actually can make the hotspot invisible, the little beacon. So with that, you'd actually just make the opacity 0. So it would be fully invisible. And then you'd actually take out the text inside of the guide. In the preview, it'll show still like the little box, but when you go to actually share the demo, it will be gone. So that's a way that you could have like a intro, like a media modal that has that start by this, and then you could have it autoplay the next step, which then they would have to figure out where it is. Additionally, you can add a time trigger on that one. So if they don't find it, you can kind of help them be pushed along a little bit, and maybe they can try for the next step. But yeah, the opacity being 0% is a nice little workaround. It'll be more visible in V2 as well. Yeah, of course. And then for the AI demo creation. So when you are creating the demo, you have the option in the screenshot in the HTML to toggle on create with AI. And what this will do is add content with AI. You can change the language and the tone. So there's support, marketer, and sales rep for the different tones that you can use. I love using these, but what I like to do on top of this, so basically we're going to pull information of what we can find, what you're clicking. So we'll have a little bit of context to the actual platform that you are inside, your own product. But once you are in the editor and kind of tweaking the guides, you can actually use the improve with AI and put in another prompt. What I do for my prompts that works really well is I like to say, keep it engaging and value driven. And that kind of goes back to, don't make it just like a step 1, step 2. You can kind of say like, this is how the product is going to benefit your company and your customers, which again will resonate a lot more with, especially those like top of funnel, A/B test on awareness and all that good stuff. But the prompt, you can put a lot in there, so more specific that you get, it actually does a really good job at revamping the entire demo. So I'd recommend the creation and then tweaking it a little bit more when you're inside the editor with the improve.
Interesting. Yeah, I think this maybe is what Richard is asking here. So is there a way to give Storyline context for the product? The AI text captions are super helpful, but it makes some assumptions which we could correct with a more detailed prompt or background context. So is that kind of what? Right?
Yes, that's the Improve with AI inside of the editor. It's in the top right. It's a little pink button. That's where you can put the prompt in. And yeah, I make the Office themed demos for our knowledge base. So making Storylane for Storylane customers gets very meta sometimes. But I will say, like use emojis and like the Office language, and again, it does a pretty awesome job at it. So if you see any of the Office Storylanes in the knowledge base, I probably made them, and I use the Improve with AI.
Yeah. Did you maybe want to just pop in and show Richard in case he wasn't aware where you could find that?
Yeah, for sure. Let me pull up.
And then, as Renee's doing that, I know we have 5 more minutes here. So any other questions that you have for Renee or Nabila or anything else that you're thinking about A/B testing? Yeah, feel free to type it in the chat.
I really like you guys, your Office theme kind of like campaign. I love it. I'm so glad. I'm like, no one talks how amazing the Office is sometimes. It's super underrated.
Yeah, we love it here, I will say. Haven't gotten in trouble yet, so hopefully we don't. This is a chapter menu demo that I made. You can see it already has an Office little GIF here. But this use AI enhanced demo, changed up the terminology a little bit in V2. This is going to be the new UI. But here's where you can put that prompt in. There's also some inspo with different kind of funnels, marketing lead gen, top of funnel, but you're not limited to these. And you can also put even, a lot more on top. So I'll just do a little fun one. Let's say tailor to Michael Scott and keep the demo engaging and value driven and fun. Again, these are for the knowledge base, so I have a little bit more wiggle room, but then you can also apply it to, if you have more chapters, you could pick and choose. Probably want to do all of them, but completely up to you. And then you can also have the AI voiceover go ahead and be added along with it's going to be translated with the new guides. So if we just click enhance content, it's going to wait a few seconds. The demo's a little bit longer, but it'll have you go through and you can accept the changes, or you can decide to cancel them out and try again. Best practices here is definitely duplicate the demo before you start kind of playing around with the AI, because once you've accepted it, you can't go back. So I like to always duplicate it and then play around there. But yeah, depending on how long the demo is, the AI will be refining it. And yeah, we'll see in just hopefully a few seconds what it comes up with. But this is definitely the best way to tailor the guide content a little bit more than what you're doing with the clicking to create the demo.
Yeah. And while we're talking about the Office, I don't know if we've announced this really officially yet, but season 3 of the Demo Dundies, which is our kind of Office parody, is coming up. And I believe the one that Ranga shared in the chat of Avix, they were one of the winners of season 2, I believe it was, of Demo Dundies. So yeah, this is just a fun celebration that we have of our customers. We have different categories. You can submit them. In the past 2 years, we've sent folks to Paris and Rome. So yeah, we definitely want to continue the Office and submit your demos, because we want to see them and potentially use them as examples, and it could win you a fun little trip. But yeah, go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I still have my Starny by Jan little candle here. I printed out like 100 of these stickers, and I was Jan last year.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my goodness. So I think Arthur may steal my thunder this year and host it, but really excited for the Demo Dundies. And yeah, one of our customers went to Paris and she had the best time and got to invite her roommate. So it was awesome to see it all unfold on LinkedIn. But yeah, so this is what it came up with. We can go ahead and just click let's go, and we can go through the demo. Also forgot to mention is that you can edit like specific steps too. So if you go through it and say, well, I like this one, but not the other one, you can edit or revert to the original. I think right off the bat, that's a great start that we have. And yeah, just kind of keep going through the different ones. Going to be a lot of "that's what she said," which is great. We love that. And yeah, so again, did a really great job tailoring it. This is obviously for Michael Scott, but you could say tailor to a CMO, CFO. You can do a lot of different persona based inside of that as well.
That's fantastic. Amazing. Well, it looks like the questions have stopped. Nabila, thank you so much for this. I really enjoyed hearing how it brought you and your team together and how you guys tested and iterated on this. I think you've given the audience a really great framework to think about. And Renee, thank you for showing the A/B testing feature, so you can follow in the footsteps of Nabila and the Respond IO team and start testing out all these features. We're going to be doing another Finer Demos Club in May, and keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, thank you all both so much, and thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.